get website visitors, but you're not sure exactly how to retarget those people. If you're not following up with people who have visited your website, checked out a tour page, but didn't book the tour, this is a huge missed opportunity. This came up in our Facebook group, our marketing mastermind. So I'm going to break down exactly how you can set up your retargeting ads effectively. A little bit of background about myself. I run Resmark Web, and Waiver Sign's internal Facebook ads, but previously at my old agency, I ran our clients' Facebook ads. So I was working with hundreds of thousands of dollars per month in Facebook ad spend. And that's where I learned how to build Facebook ad campaigns effectively so that you do not have to spend your entire marketing budget on Facebook ads. So what is retargeting? Retargeting means showing your ads to people who have already interacted with your business. Maybe they visited your website, they watched your videos, they engaged with you on social media. For example, let's say somebody goes to your website, they're looking for sunset dolphin cruises. They go to a tour page that talks specifically about sunset dolphin cruises or tours. They spend a few minutes looking at that, but then they go off of your website. 30 days later, or we could say even 6 months later, or maybe it's a few hours later, it doesn't matter. They're scrolling through Facebook and automatically they see an ad that's very similar to what they were previously looking at. They see something regarding sunset dolphin cruises. Now, in that messaging, it might say something of urgency, like limited spots. Make sure you book your sunset dolphin cruise. It's almost as if you, the advertiser, knew exactly what they were doing beforehand. All right, so this is so powerful because your marketing dollars are going to a warm audience, people who have already shown interest in your business. Also, it should be noted that you don't have to spend too much money compared to your overall paid ads budget on retargeting ads. Usually they're a lot less expensive. All right, so first things first, to get started, you need to make sure you have your Facebook pixel on your website. Even if you don't plan on running Facebook ads in the near future, get your pixel on that website. That way you could start collecting the data. So when you are ready to run Facebook ads, Facebook has all of that information. It will store it all. So how do you set up your Facebook pixel? You're going to go to Business Manager, then Events Manager. You're going to click Connect Data Sources, Web, then Facebook Pixel. Now you can name your pixel what you like. You can even name it your URL. Then you're going to click Set Up Manually. You could also use your CMS integration, but I like to just click Set Up Manually. It is pretty straightforward. So some of the events that we're going to track is page view, view content, initiate checkout, and purchase. So you could download a Chrome extension just to make sure that that pixel is firing on your site. I check it once in a while to make sure our clients have Facebook pixels on their websites. All right, you have your Facebook pixel installed. That is like the most crucial thing that you can do in all of this. But now we want to start building your audience. So you're going to do this by going to Ads Manager, Audiences, Create Audience, create a custom audience. So the kind of core list that we want to retarget is your website visitors. We want a retention of 180 days. We also want to retarget social engagers, people who have engaged on your Facebook or Instagram pages in the last year. And we also want to create a list regarding video viewers. So they watched at least 15 seconds of one of your videos in the last year, 365 days. And of course, if you have a large list of people in your CRM system, you could download that and export that as a customer list, whether that is 3,000 people who have subscribed to your newsletter in the past or people who previous customers. So we can export those lists and create custom audiences based off of those very specific people. But one thing I will say is you want to make sure it's at least 1,000 people in that list because Facebook just won't be able to go and find all of them. Also, make sure that your naming structure is very simple and straightforward so you know exactly what it is. So however many days, so 180 days, all website visitors, or 365 days of Facebook engagers. All right, so we have your custom list populating. Now we kind of want to build your ads. There are a few different approaches we can do. We can have a mixed campaign where your ads are going both to a warm and cold audience together. But remember, Facebook will always prioritize warm leads. But we can also do separate campaigns. So I think it's still important to target a colder audience, but I like to separate it from my warmer audiences. And I like to have very specific ads going to specific lists within that warm audience, right? Oh, and another group of people you can target is a lookalike audience. So these are what Facebook believes looks like your current custom list. For example, if you've exported 3,000 people who have subscribed to your newsletter, you upload that, you can create a lookalike audience out of that. I wouldn't go above 2% because it's just going to get a little bit too broad, but Facebook is going to find people that have similar interests, similar demographic, geolocation. So that is important too. If you'd like to create some lookalike audiences, just keep in mind that they're not going to be as effective in targeting for offers and whatnot because they possibly haven't been on your website or engaged with you much. But it's still cool to get in front of them because they are similar to your actual custom list. And if those are working good for you, absolutely test scaling from 2%, 3%, even 4%. All right, going back to the actual ad, we want to make sure we're matching the ad to the behavior. We want to make sure your ads feel very personal to that person. So if you had somebody on a specific tour page, we want to make sure that the ad in front of them is that same exact tour. Another great match is for somebody who abandoned their cart. Maybe they didn't continue the booking process. Let's get in front of them with a testimonial video. Maybe it's a user-generated piece of content of that person explaining how amazing that tour was, that tour specific to the one they had in their basket. We can even target social engagers who have never visited your website by just creating more awareness around your brand, encouraging them to just check out your website. So in Facebook ads, whether you're doing retargeting ads or lead generation ads, brand awareness ads, you have different types of options. We could do a static image, we could do a carousel post, or we could do video. Static images are great for direct and simple urgency. Carousels are great for showcasing multiple tours. And then video. Video is a great way to share testimonials, behind the scenes, happy guests. And usually videos feel a lot more authentic. We want to make sure that your Facebook ads feel like a friendly reminder and you're not stalking them. If you have a small audience, we want to make sure we set a frequency cap because if not, you're going to create ad fatigue. We don't want the same people seeing the same ad every single day. So I like to do a frequency cap of 3 and swap out the images every few weeks. Usually every 4 to 6 weeks, I'll swap out the images. All right, your description, your headline, all of that matters. Your creative, of course, matters. I would say the creative is probably the most important for everything, but this goes along with if you're doing lead generation ads or brand awareness ads. If you're going to test your ads in front of your custom audience, make sure you're only testing one variable at a time. We test the headline, keep the same creative, or we test the creative, keep the same headline. And what are we measuring? We are measuring click-through rate. We want about 1.5% for retargeting ads. We are also measuring cost per booking, of course, and ROAS. What's your return on ad spend? We also want to pay attention to what placements are performing best. Are our ads performing the best in our feeds, in stories, in reels? And then when we find out, we want to optimize for the ones that are performing the best. If you see that your click-through rate drops below 1%, I want you to refresh your creatives, to change it up. Okay, let's talk a little bit about budget. How much should you put towards your retargeting ads specifically? What I usually see companies do, whether in the tourism industry or any other industry, is really putting about 10 to 20% of your total Facebook budget. So if your Facebook budget is $2,000 a month, we might want $300 or $400 going specifically to retargeting ads. And if you're brand new to Facebook ads and you don't have a big budget, $5, $10 a day can really make a huge difference, especially with a large, warm audience. As your audience grows, make sure to only gradually scale. Don't increase your budget more than 20% at a time. We want the algorithm to be able to adjust. Which reminds me, if you see your ads aren't working, do not keep changing it over and over again. Wait a few weeks. We don't want to keep changing the creative and keep changing the headline and whatnot. We want to allow Facebook to understand your ad, show it to the right people, and sometimes that takes a few weeks. All right, so I know that was a really brief overview on retargeting ads. It is just one piece of the pie in the grand scheme of things, right? But if you have a marketing budget, which hopefully you do, you have some money going towards an SEO agency, you have money going towards Google ads, possibly, you have money going towards Facebook ads, make sure that you are allocating a chunk of that towards retargeting ads specifically. One of the things I see tour operators do is just throw money out there, throw up ads without strategy, without intention. I'm not going to lie, it took me a good 2 months to learn how to actually effectively run Facebook ads. So either take your time and learn how to properly run those Facebook ads, get everything up and running with intention, or outsource it to a company that can. And that's where Resmark Web comes into play. We, of course, have an amazing team of website designers, SEO specialists, and paid ads that actually run only tour operators ads day in, day out, Google ads, Facebook ads. We got your back. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me, Nikki@resmarksystems.com, or book a call. We are happy to have a chat.